Hey everybody, welcome to another beautiful day of riding bikes. Today we've got a pretty cool video, I think. We're riding a pretty unique bike, probably one that you haven't heard of too much, but after looking over it, it's actually really cool. So this is a Rossignol All Track Enduro. This is not a lot of people know that Rossignol makes bikes. This is kind of, from what I'm told, collaboration of felt, time, to make this bike happen for Rossignol. It's a 27.5-inch bike, and it's all aluminum front end, aluminum rear triangle. It rides on what they kind of just call their dual short link suspension system. They don't have a fancy name for it, they just call it what it is. The spec of the bike is pretty good. You're looking at a RockShox Yari front fork at 170 millimeters of travel, Monarch plus Debonair out back for 160 millimeters of travel. Wheel set, you're looking at a WTB scraper system with the I-35 rims. And tires, it's a plus tire setup, so you're looking at a 2.8 knobby nicks front and back. Cockpit is Rossignol branded bar and stem. Width is about 780 millimeters. You got a KS11 dropper post, NX 1x11 drivetrain. So we actually got a lot of cool, nice components on this bike. Retail, you're looking at just under $3,300, and so far I'd say that is a really good price point for all the parts that you're getting, and also just eyeballing the quality of the frame. I think this is a really good package, whether you want to upgrade or to just get started into mountain biking. You're going to get a lot of bike with this guy. All right, so let's talk about the fit of the bike. So I'm about 6 foot with shoes on, 32-inch inseam, have a probably average to shorter than average size arms. This is a large frame, looks like I want to say that's a 60 mil stem, either a 60 or a 50. I feel very stretched out on this bike. Not too much where it's too big, but for a large, this is probably one of the biggest large by feel that I've ridden. So geometry wise, in terms of the whole long, low, slack, it definitely has the length up top. And this even being a 780 mil bar feels very much like my setup with 800 mil bars. The wider the bar, the more stretched out you're going to feel over the bike. So fit of the bike is very modern, we'll just put it at that. I'll post a direct link in my description. You can see the geometry numbers on their website. So this bike climbs are really good. So again, spec wise, from a tire standpoint, it is kind of in that mid fat 27 plus range with those 2.8s. But what's cool about it having the I-35s is you can definitely put like Max's WT tire on here really well, 2.6 Magic Mary, any of the modern like 2.5 2.6 tires that are coming out these days, and fit them to these rims. But climbing wise, this bike feels really good. There's no switch on the shock. It's kind of a basic just rebound control, but it has almost no pedal bob. It is each pedal stroke really puts you forward. So first first thing that comes to mind is this thing is very stiff. It's got very oversized pivot hardware, big thick tubing. Yeah, very stiff frame setup. Rear end is, suspension wise, pretty simple. Feels pretty bottomless. It doesn't feel overly reactive like some suspension systems do. It kind of just feels muted, almost like a VPP system does, but it doesn't feel rough, and you're not getting kicked around very much. I've never ridden a Yari before, but overall I'm impressed with it. I have had an older motion control Lyric, and still a good setup. The 2.8 knobby nicks, not as much grip as I would want, or that I'm used to, but it's doing fine. Size of the bike is good. This would be a perfect size large. I think I'd even want to go to a shorter stem. I'm pretty sure this is a 60. It does feel just a tad too long for me, and that's saying a lot because I really prefer bigger bikes. Sprinting on this bike feels really good, feels really supportive. Definitely it's able to move yourself forward. And say what you want about Dior brakes or less expensive Shimano stuff. The spec on this bike, if you didn't know what it was, it works perfectly. Shifts great. Dior brakes are performing really well. I would almost say that this bike feels too stiff for me. Now they did gear this bike to more of a bike park, kind of a bike park style bike, and it definitely feels like it. It's quite a bit of bike for even the stuff that we're doing here now. But with that being said, it steers really well, has good directional control.
So to get things started, first off, I just need to have a big thank you out to Chad out at Sports Outlet in Spokane, Washington. Chad is the man that let me borrow the bike and see what the Rossignol is all about. So if you have any more questions or want to look at the bike in person or purchase this bike and you're kind of in that Spokane, Eastern Washington area, check out Sports Outlet in Spokane, Washington. So about the bike, I really enjoyed riding the Rossignol. It's got a lot of great things going for it, and I think with the way it is a great bike, especially for what you're getting for the money. You're getting a long travel 27.5-inch wheel, just bomb-proof bike. It's got a really stiff, rigid chassis. It's got those oversized pivot bearings, which just makes for a very stiff bike. Very pedal efficient, pedaling, but also fairly compliant when you're descending. It's not the most supple suspension system, but it's definitely going to take those hard hits in stride. So spec-wise, highlights, you know, the 170 mil Yari, E13 chain guide, 200 mil rotors, the WTB I-35 rims. It's just a spec that, you know, spells out, you know, let's just go bomb in a bike park. So some downsides to the bike, I would say it's going to be a little heavy. It's got pretty much the heaviest variant of all the parts that it could have, you know, on that bike. Drop some pedals on there, you're usually probably looking at 33-ish pounds, depending on what size frame you're going with. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot I could complain about. It was maybe a little bit too stiff on the type of track that I was on, but maybe a little bit more suspension tuning and a different spec, you know, could alleviate that. The knobby nicks was an interesting choice on a bike like that as well. I would say get rid of those if you're in a very Pacific Northwest area, deep loam, wet. I would say they're not bad, but, you know, put something maybe like a 2.6 or 2.8, you know, DHF or DHR2 on there. So, but overall, I really enjoyed riding the bike. For the money, just under $3,300, you're getting a really good bike. Whether you're a beginning rider looking to get into that category, or if you're looking to maybe upgrade from something that you had before. So if you have any more in-depth questions about the bike, just let me know in the comments. I'd love to answer those for you. And thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys next time.